Hello, hello. Welcome to another episode of Dropping Into Happiness. We are your hosts. I am Rachel.
I'm Maggie. Hello.
Right before it logged on, my brain was going like red leather, yellow leather. You know, like when you prep for
red leather, yellow leather, red leather, yellow leather, red leather, yellow leather, red bum bum.
like those little exercises. But then my brain goes to who was it? Anchorman, when he's like the arsonist had unleashing feet. I swear we don't do that behind the scenes. I swear we don't. If we ever did, we should do like a little bloopers reel because that would be hilarious. I know, but welcome everybody. We are on episode 19. We're getting super close to a milestone. I am so excited for that. I can't believe all of these every week. So many great topics. Like our topic this week was not on our list of topics that we had. I was just telling somebody the other day before we even started this podcast, we had about 56 ideas of topics because we wanted to make sure we could go the long haul with it. And we just keep adding to it. And guys, I've had multiple people reach out to us through our Instagram and say, hey, I'd really love to know how you guys deal with this or how you handle this. And those are on the list, I promise you. So if you have mentioned or recommended a topic you'd like for us to do, it's on there. It's on there. We will take your recommendations and your suggestions because we want to be valid. We want to be able to, hit home, and we want you to feel very relatable. And so if it's something that you're either currently struggling with or having a success with and you'd like for us to talk about it, let us know. Dropping into Happiness Pod on Instagram. You can always do the private message, droppingintohappiness@gmail.com. You can email it to us. So either way, but we will absolutely take all of those recommendations. And, go ahead, Maggie.
Oh, I was just going to say, I would definitely recommend subscribing to our YouTube and making sure that you subscribe wherever you listen so you can get the latest info with the episodes. You can be the first to listen, and our Instagram as well. We keep you all very up to date so you won't miss anything that we're going to discuss.
Yeah, definitely. And just putting this out there too. Thank you. We need like a little thank you song that we should make and to say thank you for you guys. Because you guys, we've gotten some more reviews and the likes and all of those things. And you guys, that helps us get served to more people who are looking for a podcast of this topic. And so thank you. We have just completely exceeded our expectations with this podcast and just couldn't be happier. I mean, I don't know about you, Maggie, but it's turned into such a bigger thing than I had anticipated. I just wanted to talk to you. I just wanted to hang out with you and talk to you about it.
We were just sad because our workshop was getting closed together.
Yeah. And it would turn into this thing. And we've just been touching so many people along their journey and having them understand and relate. And that definitely means a lot to us. So, today our topic, has come up recently. I've been, for those that don't know, Maggie and I both lost all of our weight, just over 100 pounds with WW, where we are currently virtual coaches. So we handle virtual workshops. And so this has kind of come up in workshops a lot for me lately. And then I've been hearing it a little on social media. And I really, really, really wanted to address it. I thought it would be a great one. So today's topics, we're going to talk about words and phrases that we would, kind of like to strike from the journey. Things that we don't want said. I feel like can maybe even affect our mindset. And I mean, because words can be very powerful and we can, especially if we give it that power. So Maggie and I have not told each other what our words and or phrases are, because I'm curious to see if we have some in common, which I think would be very interesting. So, all right, Maggie, do you want to kick it off or do you want me to start off with one?
I feel like we should say 1, 2, 3, and then say the first one that comes to mind. I'm going back and forth between two of like which one is top priority for me, but I can't decide. So
I know. Well, I have a couple phrases, and then I have one that's a word, and it's a one word that I've been saying.
How many letters is it?
4.
How many letters? Okay, it's not one of mine. I had to count, friends, for those that are not watching. It's not one of mine.
and I guess the other one, I guess, would be a 5-letter word. Okay, so do we want to do the 5-letter word?
I have a 5-letter word.
Okay. Are we going to do it on 3?
Okay. Yeah. 1, 2, 3. Cheat. No! Get it away!
Yeah, gone. It's gone. And like any variation of that word, cheat meal, cheat food, all of those things. Like I don't like it.
I even dare say I don't even swap it with treat.
Oh,
And I know that's a common swap to replace
yeah.
cheat with treat, but then again, even still, because if the goal would be to be neutral with food,
Mm-hmm.
to look at food as neutral as possible and, look at it for more of what it is, nutrient dense or not, then even the word like treat could place a specific value on certain foods where
Yes.
it's like, oh no, this food is just a part of my healthy pattern of eating,
Yeah.
like cookies or
Okay, well,
pizza or
and
whatever the
before
case
we
may
got
be.
started, I didn't tell Maggie what my word was, but you know how we always talk about the shift a lot. So
Hmm.
the shift is a book by Dr. Gary Foster, who is the CFO, CSO. He's the
Oh,
Chief Science Officer with WW. I read a passage in this book, and this passage right here is what flipped that switch for me with the word cheat. So I'm going to read from the shift for you guys. So this is quote. Perhaps nothing crystallizes internalized weight stigma as much as the routine use of the word cheat by those trying to lose weight. Quotes, I cheated today. I had a muffin. I shouldn't have.
mm,
Cheated. When we say a student cheated on their test, we consider it a potential gateway to taking unethical shortcuts. When we say someone cheated on their taxes, it's pointing out a crime. When we say a spouse cheated, it's usually such an explosive event that it can put the marriage in jeopardy. How is eating a muffin on a level with these things? How can
mm.
it possibly equate with you making you an immoral or a bad person?
Ding, 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 ding.
Right? Just the second I read that, I highlighted that whole passage too. It was super easy for me to find because that's so right. Cheat
Mm-hmm,
is associated with a negative thing, a negative action. And
mm-hmm.
if we're having that mindset, it feels like I did something bad or I shouldn't have. I don't know. I don't like it. I
Right.
don't like the word.
It ties into the diet mentality of
Mm-hmm.
there's this particular plan I have to follow, and there are certain things that I can and certain things that I cannot have. And if I have that thing, then I've cheated myself out of the diet that I'm on, or I've then in turn failed. And if we're looking at this journey as a lifestyle, then there is no cheating.
Yeah,
There's
not
just
at all.
food in the pattern. So
And
it's
like
very interesting.
with WW, we have points for, point values for all of our foods. And I always like to say, I'm like, oh, I just had a higher point day, and it's okay. And
Hmm.
one of my
Right.
members, I love how he says it, like for Easter, he was like, I had, a very high point day, but I made memories. And you know what I did after that? I turned the page to the next day and moved on. I was like, oh, I love that. I love
Yeah.
that. And I feel like it kind of ties into also another one of mine, like good food. Oh, I'm having
Hmm.
good food today. Because I think
Or bad food.
yes, because then it has the opposite, right? Of, oh, then that means that there's a such thing as a bad food. And
Hmm.
that is one of the big things we always say with WW. Nothing is off the table. Everything can be within your day. Everything can be, but if we equate it with good or bad, then I feel like that kind of pulls that cheat in there too. Oh, well, I had bad food. I cheated today. I just
Right.
don't like it. I don't like
Yeah.
it.
Or just equating like a higher point day, all of a sudden it's a bad day. I had a really
Mm-hmm.
bad day yesterday. And it's like you could be talking about a birthday party or an anniversary that you celebrated, or like it could have nothing to do with the actual day. It's like all talking about the
Yes.
food, and it's like, but wait a minute, did you like the food? Did you enjoy the food? Or
Did you make
was it really,
memories?
yeah,
Yeah.
or was it really about the food, or was something else going on? And did you just have like a human reaction, to that human experience that you were going through? So I know that there are probably some listeners out there who think this is kind of silly, right? It's like, oh, we're kind of like grasping for straws here, or just like making a mountain out of a molehill, as they say. But our words are powerful. Just like food is fuel for our body, words are the fuel of our mind, and the way we speak over ourselves, what we say, I think this is in my mantra, our
It is.
mantra.
I was
Like
going to
it was
bring it
one of the
up.
one.
Yes.
Yeah. What we say is what we hear, we make happen. So if we tell us that we're a cheater, if we tell ourselves that we've been bad, that's just going to perpetuate and grow into something way bigger than it ever needed to be. So,
Whenever anybody in a virtual WW workshop says, "Oh, I had such a bad day," I always make them take a pause, and I say, "Okay, what made it a bad day?" And it's sometimes very hard for them to pinpoint, other than they feel like they had a little bit more to eat that day. But like you said, it could have been an absolutely glorious day, a fabulous celebration. And they'll say, oh, it was a bad day. But then we start to do that. We start to have those days where it feels like we can't celebrate a birthday. We can't go to a Super Bowl party. We can't go to Disneyland. Oh, I was bad today. No, you weren't. You had a fabulous day. You had a higher point day today. Tomorrow is a new day. And make those memories. And I just, so on the list, cheat. Out of our vocabulary.
Yeah, definitely towards the top of that list. My next big word, like I said, I had two that came to mind first. Plateau.
Ooh, that was not on my list. And that is a very good one.
That one drives me up a wall because it translates to stuck. And what's so interesting too, that there are folks out there who use the word plateau when their weight has not moved in a couple of weeks. And I'm like, oh, that's just a part of this journey. That's just natural. Our
that
bodies,
fluctuation,
yes, they fluctuate. They fluctuate within a day, right? You know, like from one day to the next, but even 1 hour to the next hour, it fluctuates. And sometimes our body just sits still for a little bit. And when we say, oh, I'm plateaued, it feels like, oh, I'm stuck. Oh, I'm doing something wrong. I'm not moving forward. And we're putting so much worth into the number to determine our success and how we're doing, when it's like, oh, but I got in my activity, or oh, I've been tracking my food, or I'm drinking my water, or I'm doing all these things that are helping me move forward, whether the scale is reflecting that or not. So for me, I swapped that word out for maintenance.
Yes.
Because maintenance is an exciting thing. It's something that a lot of us are striving to do. It's going to be the bigger part of our journey in theory. And it's healthy for our body to learn how to maintain its weight. I yo-yoed my entire life from puberty to the day I started WW. I was up, down, 30, 40, 50 pounds in like very quick time periods, which was not healthy for my body. And I know someone out there might think, oh, you know, I yo-yo within 5 pounds. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about 15, 20, 30, 40 plus pounds, drastic shifts in weight. That's not great for our body. So maintenance is something that we should celebrate. Protecting our progress is an awesome thing. So the more we tell ourselves we're stuck, guess what we're going to be? Stuck.
Whenever people tell me that, like, oh, well, I've been at the same weight but I've been eating really well and drinking my water and getting in my activity, I like to say that to them. Well, it sounds like you really mastered your maintenance. And they're like, I guess I have. Like, they don't realize what a great celebration that alone still is. Because like you said, especially if we're very focused on the number on the scale and not celebrating all of the NSVs, those non-scale victories, we talked about that, like episode 2 or 3, celebrating all of those other things. Like, oh, look at all this activity that I did. Look at, I'm getting all my water. I'm super hydrated. Even if that scale's not moving, there are so many other things to be celebrating. And then it doesn't bother us so much because, like you said, we're still doing these very healthy things for our bodies, whether the scale is moving or not. And I like that too, right? Our body does need time to adjust to our weight loss, to these changes that we're making. And I don't like, I yet another word that I feel like can affect our mindset along this journey.
I think that's the big thing, is that these words, they just plant seeds, and they might not seem so powerful at first, but the more we say them, the more we live in them, we're giving them power, and they're growing. And you know, I joke a lot that there's points police out there. Those are the people who will kindly correct you if you're miscalculating something or if you've gotten the points wrong, and oh, that's actually 3 points, not 2. I don't find myself that to be a points police person, but I'm definitely a words police person, in that if I hear something going down on Instagram or in workshops, then I might not address that person directly and try to correct them necessarily, but I'll take to my platform and say, hey, this is what I'm hearing, and I just would like to offer a different perspective on this, because really that's all it is. It's perspective. we've heard these words for years and years and years from society, from our family members, from, people we love and we care about, and it just feels normal.
Yeah.
Until you hear it put into a different perspective and you think, you know what? Maybe that isn't the most helpful thing.
Well, my next word is, it's kind of a sneaky guy. So my next word is, and that I've been hearing a lot lately, and I think that's why this one really stuck out to me. Only.
Oh.
I know it's a lot more of a subtle one, but only.
Or just.
Yes. I can't tell you how many people recently have been like, well, I only lost 0.5 this week, or I only walked 1.5 miles. And I'm like, okay, let's take out the word only for a second. I feel like it diminishes our wins. It diminishes these phenomenal successes that we've been having and that we should be celebrating. And especially when we're talking to a group, sometimes in our virtual workshops, we can have anywhere from 30 to, 80, 90, 100 people in them. Mm-hmm. And when sometimes people come on and I feel like it's like they think that their effort isn't good enough. And so they're like, oh, well, I only did this. Mm-hmm. I don't care if your shoes feel looser or if you were able to walk up a flight of stairs without huffing and puffing. Like, it could be any win, and it is always going to be exciting, and it is always going to be a win, and it is always going to be a victory that should 100% be celebrated. I've been saying that a lot in my workshops recently because I kept hearing that. I do not diminish your wins. Do not diminish these amazing successes. We are going to stand proud and be very, because and after I said that, one of my members was like, you know what? I'm going to celebrate a win this week. I didn't eat my French fries yesterday. Like, she ordered them because she was like, they sounded so good, but I had a salad and I still had my burger. But I was like, you know what? I'm going to pass. I was like, yes. And I love that she wasn't like, oh, it was only this little thing. Nope. She was like, I'm standing tall and I'm going to be proud of this win. And I was like, absolutely. Yeah. The more we can celebrate, the more that we can be proud of these celebrations. Like you said, the better we will feel. We start to act in that way as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it goes back to our episode. We talked about goals and setting goals and making them specific and truly doable. And we talked about how it should feel almost silly, the goal that you've set for yourself, because you're just like, of course I can do this, right?
Yeah.
And so that is key, but the next huge step is to then celebrate the fact that you accomplished it and not minimize what you just did, right? Yeah. And so words like only and words like just definitely take away the power and empowerment that you could have having pursued that or, accomplished that. So yeah, that was a good one, Rachel. I didn't think of that one when I was brainstorming. And I do hear it a lot.
It's such a little one, and I don't think people catch it, but yeah, it's a sneaky guy.
Yeah, definitely.
Do you have any more words, or do you have phrases? I think the next two of mine are like a phrase. One's a question and one is like a title, I guess.
Oh, okay. Yeah, go ahead. I mean, we kind of covered my big heavy hitters. So
okay,
I'd like
so
to
this
hear
one, and I feel like, so this one is mainly said by other people. Okay. Do you want to guess?
Can you eat that?
Yes. Or are you allowed to eat that?
Yeah.
And
my gosh.
I feel like, especially the majority of the time, people aren't doing that in a malicious manner.
Right. They're just misinformed.
And they understand you're on a wellness journey. And like, cause my son, we were having pizza one day and he stopped and he asked me, are you allowed to have that? And I was like, first of all, I am absolutely allowed to have that. And, I don't think he recognized. And I told him, I said, if you ever see me eating anything, I have made the conscious decision to have that. Okay. And he was like, okay. But I had to tell him that. And
right.
I don't feel like that question should need to be asked to anybody.
Right.
I really don't.
Because it's kind of, well, one, it ties back to diet culture that there are certain foods that are off the table. Two, it's food policing. Yeah, which I just don't think is appropriate from anyone, whether they know you're on a journey or not. It's just not. You would never go up to a random stranger at a theme park and be like, "Why are you eating that ice cream? Or should you be eating that ice cream?"
To eat that? Yeah.
So those are definitely. That's not. I remember I was at my previous school. It might have been Teacher Appreciation Week, which, you know what? That would have been a great podcast episode. I'm so sorry, teacher friends, that I did not think about it. We'll catch it next year.
Yeah.
Because they only reward us or appreciate us with food. That's the only way that they know how to show us that they love us is with food.
That is a very good topic.
Yeah. And so it might have been teacher appreciation or it might have just been like a random day. But I walked into the office and some of the administration and things knew I had been on a wellness journey. They had seen me lose some of my weight. So I remember they had cupcakes and it was like 8 in the morning. And they were like, "We have cupcakes. I don't know if you can have that though." I said, "Oh, well, I can have that. I just don't know if I want it at 8 in the morning. But maybe at lunch, if I'm thinking about a cupcake, I'll come down." And 9 times out of 10, they're gone by lunch anyway.
Yeah.
But it's just like, people, like you said, they don't mean it maliciously, but it is an invasive thing to say and to ask and not appropriate.
Well, so this will kind of give a little reference to those who are in WW, like when we are recording this. So in our workshops this week, we're talking about myths this month for one thing and overall, but the myth of the carb. And I feel like that's kind of another thing. It's been so ingrained in our culture that, like you said, that diet mentality culture, like, oh, well, this is bad and you shouldn't have this. And I think that's where that comes from because we're so conditioned to think I shouldn't have certain things that question pops up for people. Or are you allowed to? Can you?
Right.
And it's just from very, very long time ago. I remember seeing it on magazines, like the foods that you should eliminate immediately and things like that, which were just so detrimental, especially to a younger kid thinking, oh, I shouldn't be having that. When I kid you not, I have bread for breakfast every single day. And when I first started my journey, my breakfast, I made a little bento. I called it my breakfast bento. And I had 2 hard-boiled eggs with some grapes. What else did I have in there? Because I know I had hummus, and then I would get a pita, flat pita, and I would cut it in half, and then I would cut that half into little slivers, and that's what I would have in there. Yum. And I remember somebody seeing my breakfast, and they were like, "You're trying to lose weight?" I was like, "Well, yeah." And they're like, "Oh, yeah, with bread for breakfast? That's not going to happen." And I was like, "Watch me."
Oh my gosh.
Yes, I remember somebody doing that, and I was like, yeah, dude, like this is totally fine. Like I had it measured out. I knew exactly what I was having. Like I had great, I had protein, I had fiber, I had calcium, I had all of those good things for my breakfast. Nope. They were like giving me the eyeball, like the stink eye that I was having bread with my breakfast.
Oh my gosh. Again, it all boils down to misinformation, unfortunately. And I have to remind myself that I can't educate everyone. And there's a time and a place, and I just take a deep breath. And I had, oh my gosh, this was a while ago. I'm very blessed that my Instagram tends to be a very positive place full of super supportive people. Like I feel like generally I just get really lovely comments and messages, but every so often things get sneaky. And this was like earlier on in my journey. I had, plate of food, and I share my food a lot on Instagram.
Yeah, you do.
Is a blessing and a curse, right?
Yeah.
So I shared it, and someone messaged me and was like, "I just don't know how you've had so much success. I just don't know how you eat so much food. If I ate that much food, I would never lose weight."
Oh, jeez.
And it was like a plate with like a big serving of broccoli and like a healthy serving of chicken and like brown rice and just like nutritionally dense choices. And I was just thinking, and maybe like a biscuit with the points that I had, and it was just like, I don't know how you could eat that much food and lose weight. And I was just like, oh. So really, like, maybe it's not a particular word or particular phrase, but an idea that I think that needs to cease and desist?
Yeah.
Is that how you say? I was thinking cease and desist is just food policing, commenting about what others are doing in terms of how they're eating, what they're eating. I see comments on social media about people eating particular processed foods. Oh, well, you might be losing weight, but you're not healthy and all this stuff. It's like, just let people live their life.
Yeah.
Like I said on my Instagram, I'm probably going off on a tangent, Rachel. Rein me in if you need to. But I just put on my stories the other day. I said it cost me 0 personal points to just stay in my lane and worry about myself. And I just want others to do the same, because that's what's going to get us further in our goals. It's not worrying about what other people are doing.
We talk about sustainability. We talk about sustainability and livability, and whatever that looks like to you is what's going to work to you. I don't eat the same foods that you do. You don't eat the same foods as, somebody else, but that doesn't mean it doesn't work for us. And, far be it for us to look at this other person and be like, you're doing it wrong.
Just
no, it is not necessary.
No.
I do have one more, but we're running short on time. So I'm going to do this one quickly. So this is just one, this particular phrase that I would like to go away, and I will be very quick about it. Beachbody.
No.
We were like, I gotta get Beachbody ready.
Not the company.
No, actually, they have some really rad workouts. But
they have great workouts.
The title of I gotta get Beachbody ready. I'm sorry. Do you know how much pressure that puts on my
summer
brain?
body. Yeah,
that puts so much pressure on my brain. Like, oh, geez, well, I can't look the same way I did in the wintertime because then that's not going to be my Beachbody. Like, no, we have to absolutely normalize just the way that we look year round.
I'm very thankful that my healthy lifestyle was birthed out of a place of love for my body.
Yeah.
I was rocking the bikini 290 pounds, honey.
Yeah.
I was like, you don't tell me when to wear a bikini. I said, life is too short. We are not going to be on our deathbeds being like, shouldn't have worn that bikini back then. Should have been.
I love it.
No. And it's like if you have a body and you put a bikini on it, you have a bikini body.
Yes.
So like beach body, summer body, no. And I'm like,
and like dad bod, arms. Like, what's the matter with his body?
You know what? Look, we do need to have a male guest on here.
Yes.
One of these days to talk about, sorry y'all, tangent, to talk about like the things that men go through with body image and stuff, because they go through their own thing too. Like, how they feel at the beach, and the whole dad bod thing I feel like is low-key toxic.
Yes.
And no one's really talking about it.
It broke my heart when Leonardo DiCaprio, there was like a picture of him at the beach one time, and they were like, oh, look at Leo's dad bod. I'm like, oh my, that was so uncalled for. If they had said that about a woman, we would be up in arms. We would have been,
there would
storming
be some
the castle.
Upset for sure.
But they feel like because it's a man, they're like, oh yeah, let's just go ahead and make fun of, his body now. I'm like, no, still not okay.
I was watching, I don't know if anybody out there watches Below Deck on Bravo.
No.
They have multiple series. It's, again, tangent. But there's this show, Below Deck Sailing, and these crew members are on a boat, and like they do private charter yachts and whatever.
Oh, fun.
There were some like young, fit guys that they took their shirts off to serve one of the charter guests cake, and when they were asked, do you want to take your shirt off? And they were like, well, I hope they don't mind dad bods. And I saw them and I was like, that's a dad bod? I was like, I thought he looked amazing and awesome. And I was like, what is this word? So let's just add that to the list. Dad bod needs to go.
Literally from this episode, I've gotten 2 other ideas for podcast episodes.
This is where the magic happens, people.
Yeah, you guys are seeing it in real time. Okay. All right. We got to move on to our we have a closing quote. Should we do the quote now or after our star goals and recommendations? Which do you want to do?
You know what? Let's close it down with the quote.
Okay.
Let's close it down with the quote.
So let's go to our star goals and recommendations. So I'll kick off my star goal for this week. So I think I've talked about this before, and I don't think this has been my goal before, but I want to incorporate more veggies into my day. And I feel like I say that a lot, and then I don't ever really do it. So my star goal for this next week is one day out of the week, my afternoon snack, I'm going to get even more specific. My afternoon snack is going to be a veggie, whether it's like carrots and hummus, or if I just, you know what I mean? Like, I've been really digging, cauliflower, like I've been using cauliflower with like my little ranch powder, whatever the case may be. One day next week, my afternoon snack is going to be a vegetable. So that is my star goal. But my recommendation, and you don't have to get the specific set, but I have props for those on YouTube. Y'all are going to get to see them. My recommendation, I know this is super out of left field, is reusable baggies, guys.
Yes.
I'm like way too close to my camera.
I have those.
I love these. These are the WW ones, but I've actually had some long before this. I have one that have little donuts on them. My daughter always tries to steal it. And I have an even smaller one that's my perfect size for like my popcorn. I Boom Chicka Pop the kettle version like almost every morning, and it's exactly a half ounce that fits inside of my baggie. But it's so easy, and I just like, footprint on the earth and,
Right.
that kind of
Do
thing
what you can.
too.
Do what you
Yes.
can.
Like we
Yeah.
got a water dispenser at my house. We hardly go through bottled waters at all anymore. All we have are these around my house, and we just fill these up
Right.
in cups. And so that was just one more thing as my reusable baggies. I love them. You can find super cute little funny ones on Amazon. These are the WW. It's a wellness win. If anybody knows that, our WWPs know what a wellness win is. These are wellness wins. And I actually have enough wellness wins to get another set, and I've thought about it. Just get some more of them because I love them so much.
I thought that way about the hair towel. I freaking love that hair towel on the
I always see that
wins.
too, and I always think of you too when I think of that.
I wear it it gets its fair share of use. I've already had to, Seth's mom actually re-sewed the button on for me because it was getting loose because I was using it so much. So my STAR goal is 2 times I'm going to show up on the yoga mat because I've been working on incorporating that. So 2 times, and I actually got a new yoga mat I'm very excited about. It's a big round one, 6-footer.
Ooh,
round. It's awesome. So you don't have to like move it around when you're doing.
That's really cool. I didn't even know they had that.
I know it's great.
Yeah.
But my recommendation is my new cup. So I have props, friends.
Yay.
And some people might have heard of the Stanley cup, and it's a $40 beverage container. Okay. I know you can put water or whatever you want to in it, but it's very similar to this in that it's 40 ounces. It's slender at the bottom, so it fits in a cup holder.
Nice.
It has a handle and a straw and a closable little lid. So that $40 cup, I was like, I don't know about it, but I love the idea that because it's hard to find a bigger water container, cup, bottle that still fits in the cup holders.
Yeah.
And I've noticed if it doesn't fit in my cup holder, I'm less likely to take it with me like on the go. So I do like the idea, and I like the idea of the handle, and I'm a straw girl.
I like that handle, yeah.
Walmart.
Oh.
This is a Walmart dupe.
Yeah.
And it's $13.98. And it's now available on Walmart's website. So we can put it in our show notes.
Yeah.
Because at first I was just having to find them in random Walmarts, but now they're available online. So I definitely want to recommend because I've been drinking a lot more water. Not yet, but I will now.
You know what you could do too, especially with those because it's such a solid surface. You could just get some vinyl cutouts. You can cover it with stickers.
Yeah, I'm gonna
do stickers. Super cute to decorate. Yeah.
So I'm going to be doing that, but I had to recommend that water cup for sure.
I know. I'm telling you, I have so many of my Starbucks ones. I have a big collection of them. And every time I'm even in a Starbucks, I even glance at it. My daughter's like, focus. No, you don't have space for any more.
No more cups.
I'm like, you're not the boss of me. And I go get it. I love them. I love them so much. Yeah. Okay, so our quote this week is from listener Michelle M. She submitted this to us, and I actually have her quote and then kind of what it means to her. And I'm really glad she put this with it as well, so we can kind of put that out there as well. So Michelle's quote is, "Fear is a reaction. Courage is a decision." And that's actually from Winston Churchill. And I had a little blurb. So she told us what this meant to her. So she said, sometimes it takes courage to move forward and get out of your own way. We are fearful of the unknown or failing. We will never be successful on our wellness journey if we allow fear to be our reaction. We must decide to take courage in ourselves.
I love it. Thank you.
Absolutely. I think that was such a good one. And I love when you guys submit these to us. Same way, if you want to submit, any workshop, any podcast ideas, you can go on the Dropping Into Happiness Pod Instagram, and you can always send us your, I've had people send it to me in like memes, like, oh, this one, I love this one. And you can send it that way. You can just text it to us. Maggie and I both have access to this, so we can both check it. And so 100% communicate with us, guys. We love hearing your mantras, the words of wisdom, things that have meant something to you. 100%. So it is time to wrap up though. This was a good one. I think this one was very needed. This one was, hopefully we can have some sort of an impact with cutting some of these words and phrases out of, even if it just starts with us, y'all, just start with us. Like when my kids were little and they would argue and they would say, I hate you. I would always tell them, find another word. And I think that's what we need to do. We just need to find another word. And that's not so toxic and not so, damaging and not so detrimental to our wellness journey. So good one this week, guys. So thanks for dropping by.
Have a magical day.
Bye.